Welcome, Ajit. We thought instead of sitting down, we'll do this active. But you have seen this journey at very close quarters for almost a decade or more. Tell us from your vantage point, managing brand Rohan, but also all of these initiatives which are very rare for a active athlete to think about.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nandan, for having me, and good evening, everybody. I think, like you said, the most important part is that we were a young startup in 2015.
This is Meraki.
This is Meraki, the company, and I think we met Rohan in. I remember meeting Rohan in November. Deepti, in fact, introduced us, and in December, around the same time, is when he agreed to actually come on board. So, cut to 10 years from now, he's actually on the board of the company. He has some skin in the game in that sense, because it also fuels his entrepreneurial instincts in some way. So I think from an overall brand point of view, when you look at Rohan and his journey and what he's accomplished off the court, on the court, I think most of them have said all of the things that actually in some way come together and become a cumulative, effect of what it kind of translates to. But I think one key word, Nandan, for us has always been the fact that he's been authentic. So here's a guy who's, you see people in different walks of life, right? I mean, sometimes you're a dolphin at home and a shark in the office. Somewhere there's an act. But here's a guy who's exactly the same across all aspects of life, whether it is on court, whether it is off court. And the beauty about this is that everything that you see as brand Rohan is in fact a logical extension to who the guy is. So there is nothing that is really not a part of the overall jigsaw puzzle in that sense, right?
It's all advertising haircuts.
He's not advertising haircuts for sure. In fact, he has a membership with one of the entities called TrueFit and Hill, but again, he doesn't tell anyone when he's going for it. So I think the whole idea, whether it was the coffee bit, whether it was the burger chain that he's a part of, or whether that hot chocolate drink called Knoops that he's a part of, that was. It's absolute Rohan. He walks in with Supriya and Trida. He takes a 70% or 50% hot chocolate the drink. He calls me right from there. He says, Ajit, we need to put some money in this. I'm like, what is this? He's like, I'll tell you, but this is just the best hot chocolate I've had. And 3 months from there, we were in it.
And we were all recently in Goa. He refused to have coffee in the hotel, but had to go to his favorite chain.
Had to go to his favorite chain. Yeah, that's again an interesting journey there, because I think what started was in a different avatar actually a few years ago, but then it actually in some way evolved to being now what it is, the Rohan Bopanna blend, which is a part of the overall brand called Maverick and Pharma. Now Maverick and Pharma is also at CSE. So there's just a lot that kind of happens with the coffee bit as well, because he's also quite completely involved in the process. So I remember back in the day going and him showing us how the entire thing is done, how it's dried, how it's processed, what's the thing. I don't know, most people may not know this, he's actually a certified barista. So I think in many years ago we did something with Airbnb, I remember this, and they hosted Rohan and all of us as the team in the Australian Open. And one of the things that we actually suggested that Rohan make the coffee and serve it to all the journalists who had kind of flown in from here to cover the Australian Open. That entire piece worked so well because of, again, it was the authentic nature of what he was doing there and how he connected with everyone over there, right? So there was also a few Bollywood actors at that time who were doing a similar thing. And when we did the impact assessment, it actually came through that his piece engaged more better than the others, even some of the Bollywood stars back then. So my point is that I think everything that we do with him or everything that he wants to do, usually it's him. It's not us. Like everyone was saying, once he decides that something has to happen, it has to happen. So you have to work, you have to figure out how to make it happen. There are no, we've of course had our share of disagreements and arguments and everything, but the best part is that there's no carry forward. New day, new start, new beginning. So nothing gets carried forward. So I think all of these things, Nandan, to me, come back to the same point that I made, that it is authentic to who he is in every way. The brand is in some way an absolute extension to who Rohan is.
And what lies ahead? We see these wonderful initiatives. Do we expect more?
Well, I think for now, I keep thinking that he still has about 10 more years on the tour. Maybe not with tennis, but I think shooting or paddle now. Supriya and I have to talk about it. No, I think what we're very keen to do is to see how do we actually in some way create a lot more feeder centers across the country for RBTA. RBTA will remain the high performance center in Bangalore. So now we're discussing how do we kind of create some sort of a feeder system across the country. And one thing is very clear is that he doesn't want to go the franchise route, and he just doesn't want to lend his name to anyone and everyone who's kind of doing this. So there's a kind of a larger structure in play to see how do we kind of increase the reach for what we are able to kind of provide. And if there is talented kids that kind of come through the system, then they come here to Bangalore and they're a part of the high performance system. So from an RBTA point of view, obviously the opportunity is to try and see how do we kind of go to different parts of the country and how do we do it. Beyond that, I think the Bhumi program is something that, like you saw, is fantastic. It's something that him and Navroz actually deserves a lot of credit for that as well, for working with Rohan and making it happen. And it was both of them who actually got together and said that how do we kind of do this. So I think the Bhumi program will see that it gets its own wings now, and it will start becoming something which is more of a movement. So we are contributing in whatever way we can to that as well. But he has time, and I think a lot of opportunities were missed because he was traveling. And hopefully, so absolutely the case with him, right? You and I had spoken about it when he won the when he won the Grand Slam, saying about the power of delayed gratification. So I think a lot of his commercial endeavors will start actually fructifying now.
And we were supposed to have Mr. Kishore Patil here,
Yes.
who
Yes.
supported the doubles dream.
Yes.
Talk to us briefly before we conclude.
So again, I think not many people know this as well. It's been 3-4 years now since the Doubles Dream program started. And
Mr. Patil was unwell, so couldn't join us.
yeah, and again, it was something that I remember the first meeting, Rohan and I went to Pune to meet Mr. Patil and Abhishek. I don't know if Abhishek is still here. And we had a long chat about how do we kind of in some way create a program that kind of supports the athletes and kind of, provides necessary, creates an ecosystem, because he's always believed, I mean, we all know that tennis is a lonely sport, so his belief has always been that you provide the right ammunition to them, and that's not always money. It's physio, it's coaching, it's just support staff, it's just people being around you to kind of, help you recover, help you kind of, get ready for the next day and stuff like that, the next match. So I think one of those conversations and that whole thing led to us creating this thing called the Doubles Dream of India. And I think today it's become, in some way, a magnificent showcase of what can happen when people come together with the right intentions, right? So cut to today, we have about 6 or 7 people in the top 100. And there's a lot of interest we are seeing, that in some way, incoming interest of people reaching out to us and saying that we want to in some way be a part of this movement. How do we kind of, can we contribute? So I think the doubles dream, Nandan, for me is very, very important, because it has proven with absolute, proof of concept as to how a program can be designed, how a program can be implemented, and what the success metric of that is. That again, only comes down to what he wanted to do. He was very clear, because in fact, we are used to what some of the things that Go Sports Foundation does, and I kept arguing with him, saying that, why can't we do it this way? Why can't we? He said, no, we will not pay money. This is how the entire, structure will work. And the point is, he's never taken a single rupee for his time or for his effort or for his, mentorship as a part of that program. He's done it fully pro bono. And that, again, is something that not many people know about this. And it's not like he's not been offered, he's just not wanted it. So he said, whatever money is there, let's just put it back into the program and create more opportunities. So again, that's something that we're discussing as to how do we scale it up, how do we actually bring it a little more, make it a little more larger. Maybe it just goes on to becoming the high performance tennis program for the country itself. It's maybe not doubles anymore, maybe it's just singles. Everyone, there's a lot of talent coming through, as we're all seeing. So create some sort of a pathway for all of them as well.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Ajit,
Thank
and
you so
thanks for
much.
being
Thank
part
you.
of this journey.